Are you ready to be terrorized by tea? I hope so, because today we're opening a Boba Teashop. Get ready to hide under your blankets because things are about to get scary. In this series, I will be playing through every single horror game I can find, all to ask one simple question. Are you scared yet? The Boba Teashop is a first-person indie horror game created by Mike 10, a solo developer with just one other game listed on Steam at the time of making this video. Despite this, both games have been very well received according to their Steam reviews, so clearly Mike knows what he's doing. Booting up the game, we are immediately met with the face of our protagonist, smiling as she stares out of the screen at us while light-hearted music plays in the background. Her gaze follows the mouse cursor as we move it around, the well-lit tea shop visible in the background. But then... static. The lights go out, the music cuts, and she's still staring at us, underlit with red and delightfully creepy. It's a good start. Simple, yet effective. It sets the tone for the rest of the game. The game lets us know that it will autosave at the end of every shift, and that starting a new game will overwrite the old one. Good to know. Right at the start of the game, we get a warning screen for jump scares. Thankfully, we are not of a nervous disposition, so we can probably ignore this warning. As an actual content warning, however, this game, and therefore this video, does include mentions of suicide and mental illness, as well as some fairly extreme violence towards the end. So if you are affected by any of these things, please do be aware. The game starts, and we're treated to an image of a poster advertising the grand opening of the Boba Teashop, along with a bit of backstory. We have been saving for 5 long years to open this shop, and it is absolutely necessary that it does not fail no matter what. Day 1. The game fades in, and we're standing staring at the inside of a shop door. Our shop door. WASD movement, though the directional arrows also do the same job, and the camera is controlled by the mouse. There's a counter, some seats all lined up, and a bathroom at the back of the room. There is overhead lighting, but it's dark outside, and the shop already feels darker than it should. A permanent iris shot darkening the corners, and we should probably go and get an eye test to check for glaucoma. Our first task is to flip the sign to open. Instructions appear in the top left of the screen, and the game won't progress until you've completed the current objective. So we do as we're told and flip the sign. Then we're told to go and prepare for our customers, which means sequestering ourselves behind the counter. No sooner do we close the flap when our first customer arrives. The game starts us off with an easy order, but they will get more complex as we progress through the story. Our customer orders a milk tea. So we grab a cup, place it down, get the milk out the fridge and pour it into the cup, add the tea, discover that we can't put the milk back in the magically self-refilling fridge, put down the milk, add boba, seal it, and place it on the tray for the customer to take. Easy. The game doesn't provide click-by-click instructions on how to do this, but it also doesn't punish you for getting it wrong at this point. There isn't a time limit, the instructions in the top left of the screen are clear, and even if you skip a step, all you need to do is remake the tea correctly for the customer. You can also see what you've made by hovering over the drink. It will highlight it, and a small text box will appear with the name of the drink on it. If this doesn't match what the customer has ordered, they won't accept it. The amount of money the customer will pay for their order does vary in some instances, but we'll come back to that later. Our next customer, a workman in a high-vis jacket, asks us a question. What's all the fuss with these drinks? And we have the option of picking one of 2 responses, either it's milk tea with tapioca, also known as boba, or these drinks are trending among youngsters, you should try one. It doesn't matter which option you pick, however, as the man won't change his order and will still pay the same amount for it. Now that we've completed our training order, the instructions from earlier are gone, and we have to rely on our own memory to put the order together. If you forget, however, the order will appear on the computer screen, albeit in a slightly fuzzy, difficult to read font. Should have gone to Specsavers. And this is where I discover that we can throw things on the floor. But we're a clean and tidy sort of tea shop, so I pick the milk back up and put it on the side so health and safety don't close us down. Customer 3 is more of the same, make the drink, pass it over, get paid. This time, however, the tiny child recommends adding strawberry milk to the menu, and we take the suggestion seriously, so I guess I'm going shopping for strawberries at the end of my shift. Customer 4 is a bit more interesting. Not only is he an incorrigible flirt, he also asks for our first custom drink order. There aren't many of these in the game, but each day a customer will come in who won't order something specific. Instead, they will ask us to make them something based around a suggestion, and will tip if they like the order. If you're after the All That Glitters achievement, don't sleep on these customers. In the case of this guy, he just wants something with boba, and as we haven't got anything fancy on the menu yet, he can have a standard milk tea. We spilled the first one all over the floor and have to start again, but there still isn't a time limit, so it doesn't really matter too much. When we give him his order, he then asks for our number, and we are given the option to either give him a fake number or just just say no. He'll tip either way, and we get $5 for our trouble for a total of $12 for the drink. The amount a customer will tip depends on the drink you make for them. You'll get more if you add every ingredient under the sun, and less if you're stingy. It looks like Mr. Flirt is our last customer for the day, so it's time to shut up shop by flipping the sign to... God fucking damn it! So glad to know you didn't mean to scare us. Bloody hell, lady! It absolutely does not help that her movements are frame-skippingly creepy either. I'm half tempted to kick her out, and the game does give you the option to do that, but this is our opening day, so I let her in and begrudgingly take her order. She asks for extra boba, so fine, that is what she will get. She can have a cup of nothing but boba as revenge for being the first jump scare of the game. Except when I try and add a third cup to see what happens, the game won't let me. You can add 1 extra scoop of boba per drink, and that is it. The extra scoop can go on the floor with the spilt tea and the milk. Jumpscare lady takes her order and leaves. Interestingly, if you kick her out instead of serving her, she will give you 3 chances to agree to let her in before finally leaving, stating that she has a report due tomorrow and her boss will kill her if she doesn't get it done, and it's only when you threaten to call the police that she finally gets the hint. While none of these options change the story, they do provide some background information for later, and if you send her away, you'll end up with $10 less in the till. Now that the shop is finally closed, we are told to keep the chairs. I don't know what that means, but I hadn't planned on throwing them out anyway, so I guess we're keeping them. The shop is a mess, so we have a bit of a tidy of the area behind the counter and head into the staff room. It is in here that we discover we have a whiteboard. All of the official drink options will be listed on here, and this list changes as new drinks are unlocked throughout the game. We've only got milk tea for sale at the moment, with a cute little note stating, "Add boba for better excitement." The mop is stored in the locker to the left of the desk, so we grab it and set about cleaning the dirty spots on the shop floor. Bathrooms don't need cleaning, but we have a look in there anyway. There's 2 stalls with toilet lids that can be lifted and closed, as well as a sink. The water can be turned on and off, which is a nice touch. Exiting the shop immediately starts day 2. As well as saving the game up to the end of day 1. This is important to note, as if you want to replay any part of a day, you must restart the game before the end of that day to play it through again. This is useful if you want to choose a different option to see what characters say. First thing we do is check the whiteboard. We now sell a latte, and there are fresh strawberries in the fridge for a sweet aroma. This means more drinks options to remember, but we can check the board at any time, and by introducing new things one by one, it keeps the game from getting overwhelming. Time to open the store, but as we head over to flip the sign from closed to open, I can't help but notice what a nice view we have up here. It's so high up. Good thing the windows don't open. That might be dangerous. Our first customer of the day is Mr. High Vis from yesterday. He warns us that he's going to be doing maintenance on the building today and to expect a few power outages. Customer 2 is, I think, wearing pajamas, which is an interesting fashion choice, but we're not here to judge, so we take her order of 2 boba strawberry milk, and she rudely tells us to hurry up. We calmly proceed to not hurry up, and since there's no time limit, take our sweet time with her order. After she finally leaves, the lights go out for a brief moment and come back on again. However, as they are accompanied by what sounds like a light switch being flipped off and then on again, I choose to believe that it was Mrs. Pajamas being a dick. Tiny Child from yesterday is very happy with our addition of strawberries to the menu and orders anything with strawberry in it. But as we make her strawberry milk with double boba, the lights flip off and on again repeatedly, which isn't ominous at all. We get a $2 tip, which, thank you Tiny Child, and the lights go out entirely. A new customer arrives, commenting on the lack of illumination before... What the shit was that? Holy hell, okay, well, let's just ignore that for now. I'm sure it was nothing. Miss Darkness wants a strawberry milk tea, so we get on that immediately. No sooner are we done with her order when the phone in the staff room rings. It's Mr. High Vis letting us know he's finished messing with the electrics of the building, so the outages are over. While we're on the phone, our final customer of the day arrives with another custom order of something with caffeine and milk. We make Sir Mustachio a strawberry latte and get a crisp $10 bill as a tip. It's time to close up shop. Thankfully, no last-minute jump scares today, and on to day 3. Chocolate milk and mocha have both been added to the whiteboard today, which are both fairly straightforward. Miss Darkness is back, ordering a boba mocha, and we're told to do it right. So we do, of course, and she asks us if we've heard about the woman who jumped off the roof, which, no, we haven't. But that very much explains what we saw yesterday during the power outage. Apparently she couldn't handle the stress of a corporate job. Very pleasant. Does sound suspiciously, however, like someone we know. Someone we met recently. Someone who told us her boss would kill her if she didn't get her report finished on time. Coincidence? I don't think so. Miss Darkness tells us we wouldn't get it and then leaves, and I cannot say I am sad to see her go. She's replaced by Sir Mustachio, who just wants a chocolate milk because he's wholesome like that. So we get on it, and what is that in the corner? We keep an eye on it, but it doesn't look like there's anything there, but I was sure I saw something. Anyway, Sir Mustachio doesn't tip us today. Mrs. Pyjamas comes in and again is as unpleasant as always. Then, as we are serving Mr. Hive's child, a familiar-looking man walks past the child and into the bathroom. A new customer comes in and asks for matcha, which we don't have yet, followed by a nice lady who calls us sweetie and tells us we're looking tired. After serving her, however, we realise that the guy from earlier hasn't come out of the bathroom yet, because that's not suspicious at all. So, of course, we go and check it out, and there's no one in there. No sign of anyone at all. Did he slip out while we were busy with the other customers? So we head back out and oh heck no! Nope, nuh-uh. He is just standing there in the doorway looking like every serial killer ever. But the game won't progress if I just stand still, so I guess we need to talk to the guy, who promptly darts back past us into one of the stalls. Except there's still no one there. Naturally, we immediately question our sanity and head out of the restrooms to close up shop, though not before checking every inch of the place for intruders who might be hiding behind the staff room door or in the locker with the mop. No one is there, however, so we clean the floor, the creepy fucker left mud all over it, and leave for the night. Day 4. We've apparently been to see a psychologist after Mr. Creepy Fox bathroom shenanigans yesterday. The phone is ringing despite the fact that we're not open yet, and when we answer it, the voice on the other end is that of Dr. Amanda, our psychologist, who reminds us that if we start seeing things, we should look away and not stare at it. And is it just me, or is the field of view getting smaller? We open the shop, and I remember at the last minute to check the menu board. Sure enough, we now sell matcha milk tea along with lemon tea and green tea, and we can add matcha powder for a herbal taste. Our first customer of the day is fairly rude with a large order, but it's nothing complicated, so we just get it done and get branded a loser for the trouble. Customer 2 is fractionally more interesting. When we hand him his drink, he reveals that he's the evil boss, the one whose employee took a swan dive off the roof 2 days ago. He blames her for all the extra work he's having to do, but then another customer comes in behind him. She's familiar, the screen glitches. She's not moving quite right, twitching and jerking as she walks. It's so dark now. Static buzzes and she's standing right there. Right behind him. Right. And then he leaves and she's gone. The lights are back. The shop is empty. It's silent. Footsteps. A customer, thankfully. Matcha Girl is back, but things feel strange. Off kilter. But we've got a business to run and we can't let something as basic as evil spirits stand in our way. We make her the drink she asks for, then Tiny Child wants her strawberry whatever, and we make her a double boba strawberry mocha because clearly she's not too young to get hooked on caffeine. Miss Darkness is the final customer of the day before we close up, but after flipping the sign to closed, is that blood on the floor? It doesn't look like dirt. Oh well, it's going to need cleaning regardless, so we leave the shop spotless and move on to Day 5. It is so dark now. Dark enough, in fact, that I quit out of the game to check my settings and make sure I've not got brightness set too low. I don't, so we continue. Wait, what is that? A customer? And when did she arrive? Mr. Highvis comes in for his usual order, only he's finally decided he wants to try the tapioca. Good for you, Mr. Highvis, not afraid to try something new. The woman is still there, just staring at us. I don't think that's a customer, so we stare back. I mean, what's the worst that could— Jesus fuck, not again! So after being murdered by a ghost, we start day 5 again. This time we don't stare at the dead woman. Staring is rude, admittedly, and just get on with the order. It's so dark that I can barely see what I'm doing. Thankfully, the edge highlight that appears when you hover over anything makes it easier to make sure you're clicking in the right place. The nice lady is back after Mr. Highvis leaves, and she mentions the yin energy of the shop and hightails it out of there pretty fast. I'm going to assume that's a bad thing. The ghost woman is still there. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see she's made her way over to the counter, and I don't look. I don't want her to murder me again. It wasn't fun the first time, and it won't be any more fun the second. The counter bell rings. I don't look. I can't look. It rings again and again, and oh no, she's a customer. Double boba matcha milk tea. It's not a complicated order, really, but it's long, and the or else she finishes with doesn't fill me with much confidence that she'll be a patient customer and wait for me to be done. It's almost impossible to see now, the screen near enough pitch black. It buzzes with static, heartbeat getting faster and faster, and we fumble. We need to add the matcha, but we're still holding the milk, so we put it down to pick up the matcha, and it's in the way. We need to move it, but we're dead again. The day starts over. Will she order the same thing again? I don't know, but I'm not about to risk death by ghost for a third time. I cheat, making the drink before she has a chance to order and leaving it on the side ready for when she comes to the counter. She thanks us and pays for her order. A polite murder ghost. I wasn't expecting that. Oh good, a perfectly normal customer. Nope, we're not as lucky as all that. It's the cleanliness inspector from the Department of Health. We carry on as normal and ignore her. Thankfully, our fastidious mopping up of blood from the night before means we pass the inspection and won't need to close down. However, if we had left the floor unmopped, we would have failed the inspection and been fined $100. Whether you pass or fail doesn't make any difference to the game unless you're collecting achievements, in which case you'll need 2 playthroughs so you can do both. Day 6, and by this point it's so dark we can barely see to move through the shop. The lights are back to flickering off and on again, though no sign of Mr. High-Vis and no phone calls to warn us about more blackouts. We finish serving our first customer, and as we look up to pass him his drinks, eyes in the dark. Loserman leaves, the lights flicker, and there's another one. Closer this time, staring at us. It's so close to the counter that we have to look at it when another customer comes in. Evil boss this time. The screen is flickering, the darkness around the edges of our vision is coming closer, and oh hell no, there's another one. Miss Darkness arrives, and it's a reason to look away, but the lights flicker again, and now there's one leaning over the counter staring at us. It's right on the order delivery bell. We're going to have to look at them all when the next customer arrives. There's 5 of the things and we have to look at them now. Then the lights flicker on and off, and the game screams at us to hide. It's right there, right in front of us, screaming at us. Or are we screaming? We run back into the staff room, over to the locker with the cleaning supplies, and we wrench the door open, falling into the tight space with a clatter. It's dark, so dark that for a long moment we can't see which way we're facing, can't see where the door is. We're still exposed. Finally, after what feels like an eternity of panic and dread, we find the door and slam it closed. It's dark, and we know they're still out there, still looking for us. But then the oppressive atmosphere lifts and we're able to breathe again. A new sound pierces through the haze of panic, familiar yet still unwanted. The shop bell dings over and over and over again, the shrill metal ringing out a repeating and constant pattern. We don't have a choice. Stepping out from our hiding place, we head back through into the shop to see who or what is trying to get our attention. It's Mrs. Pajamas. She lets loose on us a tirade of hate from our most entitled customer, going on and on and on, and it fades to black. Day 7 begins without warning. The game fades in and we're outside the shop, staring in through the glass door. The font colour has changed, a nice little indicator that we're playing as someone else now, entering the shop as a customer. The light levels have gone back to normal. There's no dark haze over everything anymore, and we see the shop the way everyone else does. We order our drink. There are 3 options to choose from, and it doesn't matter which you pick, and ask to use the toilet. We are told, however, that the toilets are for staff only, so we absolutely cannot use them. Of course, we promptly ignore that and go inside anyway. Mrs. Pajama's body is slumped across the toilet, what looks to be a metal bar through her neck. I'm pretty sure she's probably dead. I don't think we can pee here. We run for the door, except dragged back into the bathroom, unable to do anything, we can only stare up into the smiling face as a hacksaw comes into view and the credits roll. And that was the Boba Teashop, a short horror game that takes around an hour to complete, less if you know what to do and don't poke around in dark corners or spend time enjoying the view. It's a very competently made game. The gradual descent into madness gives the supernatural elements and are they really there, or is it all in her head vibe. This is a trope that I love and I feel they've used it well here. The design of the shop is nice, not too complicated, but enough that it isn't dull and feels like every Boba Teashop I've ever been into. The characters are all unique enough that you notice who the regulars are, and I appreciate that they all have a preference on what they like to drink. The slowly growing menu works well for learning how to play the game, and the custom orders with tips are a nice touch. The way the dark iris effect reduces your vision as the game progresses and more terrifying ghouls appear is excellent. However, it becomes near enough unnoticeable in later game, when it grows so dark that you can barely see what you're doing. On that note, the later game is too dark. I understand what they were going for with this, but it's too much in my opinion. For me, I'd rather they dialed it back a touch so I could still see what I was interacting with, rather than fumbling around in the dark like I've got my eyes closed. And yes, I have replayed the game with the brightness turned all the way up, it didn't make a difference. The body falling past the window and the dark shape in the corner above the fridge were both excellent examples of, did I actually see that? I'd love to see more of these sorts of things within the game, and maybe there were a few I missed, but those are the sorts of scares that make my stomach drop when I see them, and too few horror games utilise them as a scare tactic. So was it good, and should you play it? Yes and yes. The Boba Teashop is a well-made short game that's good for an hour or two of jumping at ghosts. It's worth the price tag even when it's not on sale, but is it scary? Well, I won't be sleeping with the lights on after this one, but a few moments had my heart rate spike and I did jump more than once. More importantly though, are you scared yet? Leave a comment below to let me know if Boba scares you, like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Sweet dreams.